Hi Trasee, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing good. It's ironic, known
Awesome.
each other all these years, but it's the first time we're actually talking to each other.
I know,
As,
isn't
as,
that
as
bizarre?
personable
Like,
as
and
we
we're
can.
both from the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So weird. Well, thank you so much for having me on this show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem.
You're
My
doing
pleasure.
some really cool stuff with this, and I really dig it. It's good.
Yeah, I've been, I don't know, I was kind of apprehensive about doing it at first, but everybody just been so receptive of it. And
Yeah, you're doing some good stuff, and you got some really cool people too that you talk to. And even with the movie stuff and the film thing, I think that's really cool.
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
So you are the lead singer, the writer, pretty well the manager of your band, The Reckoning, that people can see behind you.
Yeah, right there. Exactly.
Tell people who don't know the history of the band.
Well, the history of the band, we've been going for about 13 years. I started in Vancouver, BC, Canada. And, I started the band out of a very dark place in my life. And it really was a crossroads where it was like, literally life or death, the situation I was in. And I had to make a decision like immediately. And I immediately chose music. And what happened is like I've been dabbling in and out of music for a long time, but I never had the opportunity to actually form a band. But I'd been writing music with my acoustic guitar for years and writing lyrics and songs and this and that. I ended up meeting my songwriting partner, Gordzilla, who's also the bass player in the band, at a guitar trade show. It was what's the name of that community hall there? False Creek, I don't know, somewhere on Commercial Drive there.
Oh,
And yeah, we ended up meeting there at a guitar show. And he came over one day and he listened to what I had. And he's a producer, engineer kind of guy, And so he's just like, I hear something there. I hear something there. We got to do something with this. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And so it kind of started from there, and it started out in 2007, 2008. It was like the end of 2007, beginning 2008. And then 2009, we played our first gig, and then we just kind of went on from there. So it was pretty cool how it started.
predominantly punk, kind of edgy,
He's very
hard.
edgy.
Yeah, it's very edgy. Songs like Bulletproof, which I love. I love
Thank
Bulletproof,
you.
and of course you have your phenomenal song. The one you're
Fuck
most
off.
famous for, "Fuck Off." Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to say fuck off? Right? So yeah, I mean, people really resonate with that one too, and it's really cool. And Bulletproof was, a song we wrote when the quarantine, the COVID thing first hit, and everybody panicked. Like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? What are we gonna do? We have to do something. And so we're just like, wow, we're gonna just like do a video, a Bulletproof raw, because it's very raw. It wasn't like mixed and mastered and done in a studio. We did it
No, it
in
was very raw. You did it in your own homes, and the guitarist just sits down, cracks a beer, petting his dog, waiting for his
his solo.
his coming back into the song. Yeah,
Exactly.
hilarious.
And it was, yeah, and that's what I love about the band too, because we are a fun band, and we have fun doing what we do. And I love it when people grab onto that, because it's like, yeah, we're cool and we have these cool songs and stuff, but we're also fun. We don't take things too seriously.
Oh, it's just rock and roll. It's punk, right? Like
Exactly.
it's just
Yeah,
supposed to. It's a release. It's a
it
people
is.
always ask me, why do you like heavy metal? You seem like such a nice guy, and it's like, well, it's a release. It's not just a release for them as musicians, but it's a release for the people listening to it as well.
Absolutely. And that's what it's a beautiful thing about that style of music, because we get so intense in life sometimes that we need an outlet, whether you're the musician or you're the listener or the fan. And I think that that's so important for people to have a release that's positive. You know, music is a positive influence, no matter what people think about. Oh, fuck off. That's yeah, that is positive. You know, it's like you're getting it out right there. It's like fuck off, man. Don't
Yeah.
tell me what to do. You know.
Well, and I met Clive Barker many, many moons ago when he was promoting the Thief of Always. It was a young teenager book.
Okay.
And he said if he was not given the gift of writing, he'd probably be locked up in a sane asylum. He says for him to
Absolutely.
be able to release those thoughts, those images, those creatures out of his head,
Yeah.
he said he'd probably be insane.
Yeah. Yeah, and I believe it. You know, it's the same sort of thing. Like I said, I was talking about being in dark place and stuff in my life, and I had quite a few traumatic things happen to me over the years. And at that point, it's like if I didn't have something to help me release that angst, that anger, that everything that was like inside for so many years, yeah, probably the same thing. I'd probably be in jail
Yeah.
more than likely, jail or dead, you know. And I'm so grateful for music. It's just it's an amazing therapy.
Well, and you and I have been friends. I've seen some of your life unfold.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
I
some of
know
it's
it's
not
not
been
been an
pretty.
easy road for you, and I'm glad that you're in the balance. And the best news is you guys have signed a record deal. You're with Interdemon Records.
Yeah, we just recently signed on with Interdemon Records a few months back, and you know, they're not your typical record label, but they're really, really good, and they really support all their artists, and they push us, and they give us the promotion that we need to get new fans and get people listening and interacting with fans as well, which is really, really important, you know. And it's like we kind of touched on this topic that we did an interview with them on Saturday night about how, you know, it's fucked up with COVID that we can't play live shows and stuff like that right now. But in a way, it's kind of cool because we get to be more intimate with people online. You know, it's more like we're all on the same level now, so we can all talk to each other instead of being, oh, I'm busy, I got to go on stage, or I'm getting ready, or I'm
Yeah.
this or that, you know. And after the show, it's like always, oh, we got to tear down gear, you got to run, you got to pack the freaking van, whatever you got to do. You don't get a lot of time to interact with your fans and friends and stuff. And so I think that, you know, in a way, this is, I guess, the positive take I can put on this, you know, like you have to find a positive in everything, really.
Yeah.
It's what else are you gonna do? You can't it's hard, yeah, it's hard on everybody. I mean, everybody in the whole freaking world is being affected in one way or another, you know, but it's all about how you deal with it, mindset, what your mindset is, you know. So if
But
you
there's
can,
also the other aspect that for young upcoming, no, well, not upcoming bands, but young bands like yourselves who are trying to get recognition, you've got the record label deal and that. You really rely on those tours though, because your profit is selling merchandise at shows and
absolutely,
getting out there and meeting people. And
yeah.
you know, maybe you're not headlining a show, but you're on the show and people you generate new fans that way.
Yeah, you do. And that's an important topic, you know, like, because that's where we do sell our merch is when we're playing live shows.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for local independent bands to push through that. But, you know, we're getting there a little bit at a time. And
Yeah.
it's about putting out new stuff and this and that. And that's all coming, right? So, but, you know, eventually we all will get back to the stage and it's going to be a beautiful thing.
It will be.
Hmm.
Any plans of doing like an in home show, kind of like what you did with Bulletproof, like do it that because Lamb of God did that. They did a quarantine session where they performed 3 songs and they were all in their own homes, kind of like what you guys did with Bulletproof.
Yeah, I mean, we've thought about maybe doing like a live rehearsal type thing, and we tried to do it, but we didn't have the proper interface. Like there's all these kinds of technical things that go into
Right.
doing this. It's not just, hey, set up and play, you know? So it's a little bit more technical. So I don't know about that, but what we are going to be doing is releasing a couple of music videos
Nice.
over the next few months. So
Oh, good.
yeah,
So that's something to look forward to.
yeah.
So who's been your inspiration to get into music? Because now you're not only a lead singer, but that drum set behind you is yours, and you've been learning how to play them.
Yeah,
How confident are you getting on them now?
I'm actually getting really good. And you know, to tell you a story behind the drums thing is like, yeah, I wanted to be a singer when I was a little girl and stuff like that. But when I hit around, I don't know, I think it's about 12 years old, um, I was like really into Van Halen, you know,
Okay. Yep.
and like it was when they first came out and all this, you know, running with the devil and all that stuff. And I was just like, oh my God, listen to this. I want to play drums. And I went into my dad. I said, Dad, there's a drum school like right across the street from where we live. Can you pay for lessons? And he said, no fucking way. So, you know, and I was like, okay, well, screw it. I'm 12. What am I going to do about it? You know? And I mean, I've played here and there on and off, but I've never had my own kit. And this is another like a COVID thing, you know, when it hit, it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like,
Right.
I need to do something as well to take the pressure off. And so I bought the drum kit, and I'm like, wow, I bought a drum kit. Like, you know, it's an electronic drum kit, but it's still, man, you throw those headphones on and it's just like a drum kit, you know? And
And you're not killing the neighbors.
yeah, I'm saving grace with that, you know, like, but I'm getting really good, and I have it. Like I have a natural ability for rhythm. I have a natural ability for timing, you know, and that stems from just being a musician. Like you develop that, and so and having the love of drums, you know, it makes you want to do
Right.
more. So yeah, I love it. I love playing.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's
So
pretty cool.
so getting into the punk thing, where did that
Well,
come from? Who led you in there? Like who was your inspiration? Did it come by fault, or did it come, was it something that you wanted to do, or
it was something that actually again came around when I was very young, you know, again around 12 years old. This is when all this stuff started happening, is like, you know, the Van Halen and classic rock and all that. But then all of a sudden, you know, Sex Pistols and the Clash and all this stuff started coming out like that. And when the Sex Pistols came out, I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? And I just went running with that, you know, it was like, oh my God. And running around the streets at 12 years old, I had like the real safety pin things like,
oh yeah.
you know, down my leg, you know, like just like crazy shit. And just the Sex Pistols were it. That was it for me. It was just like, oh my God. And that's kind of where the punk element comes in. And then the whole thing with Alice Cooper being, you know, one of my biggest influences as well, is like kind of the punk with the showmanship and this kind of thing went together. And then, you know, as wanting to be a singer and stuff like that, it didn't really, my voice didn't really develop what it is now for a while, but I've always been a very loud person,
Right.
you know, and people used to say like, fuck, shut up, and I'd get louder, right? And it's like this yell of mine that I have when I'm singing. It's like yelling, kind of, you know. That's a thing that I used to do when I was on the streets. Like I would yell, like, "Ah," and people would go, "Oh shit, there's Trasee," you know. Like it's kind of this thing that I developed just being loud,
Right.
and then put it into singing. So there you go.
Well, and that's what a lot of it's based on, and a lot of heavy metal's based on screaming, the screaming vocals, and getting that rage out and getting that rage across, right?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure,
Because that's predominantly what it's about. 'Cause
absolutely.
I even think of, you know, Wendy O. Williams and the Plasmatics, that sort of thing too.
Yeah, and I've been compared to her quite a few times, and I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Okay.
Well, I wasn't thinking of you, like I wasn't thinking that you were influenced by it, because I mean, You keep your clothes on when you're singing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the difference, right? But she was something else, you know, like I don't discredit that woman at all. She did whatever the hell she wanted to, and she
Oh,
got
she was
her.
quite the leader in terms of the punk movement for women.
Absolutely. Oh, big time.
She
Big
had to
time.
stand out in a really difficult crowd, and she had to make herself notice. And I guess the only way was the way she did
Yeah.
it.
In those days, yeah, because it was so male dominated. You know what I mean? Like she had to do
Yeah.
something to stand out, and that's what she did, and it worked.
It's unfortunate that she had to, she had to
Yeah.
go that far to just taping up her nipples, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what she's known for.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Because she
true.
was a half decent singer, and pretty good show
She
person
was.
as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. But she was like, she was getting it all out, right? She
Yeah.
had a lot going on. That's for
Well, and
sure.
I find that a lot of times the women have to showboat a bit more than the men do because they have to, kind of go, well, I'm here. Look at me.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's 4 other guys in the band, but I'm here.
that's right. That's right. It's all about me.
Well, and I think the hardest, the worst thing that they've done for music in that regard, female-fronted bands.
Yeah.
I hate it when they call them that. It's just like,
Yeah.
Evanescence, the name, the
Go down the
list
line.
goes
Yeah.
on and on and on and on. And it has
Yeah.
predominantly, but they never said that about Heart. They never said that about Pat Benatar.
No, they
but
never said that about Blondie. That like
no, right?
yeah,
They were
yeah,
just they were the focal point of the band. That was
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But they
It
never
wasn't
said,
like
"Oh,
a
it's a
separation.
female-fronted band." Yeah.
It wasn't separated like that, right?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you as a
Uh,
woman in a rock band?
well, I mean, like in the beginning, it's kind of like one of those word phrases that you use because it's being used in the music industry. So you try to um, get in that way, right? So we used to do that, female fronted, blah, 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 blah. Now it's just like, you know what? We're the reckoning. That's who we are. And that's all of us collectively.
Yeah.
It's not just me. It's not just whoever in the band. We're all that. It doesn't matter what gender we are. Like, I think that's where the misconception comes in, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, and I don't think it's fair to generalize it like that. I think that, just because we're women doesn't mean that we're less than or something. We're still musicians.
Yeah.
So it's just it's the bands. It's like that's it. I mean, I got more fucking balls than most guys anyway. So you know.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got bands like you got the bands like Vixen in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
The Go-Go's, the
Yeah.
Bangles.
Yeah.
All women.
Yeah.
And they were doing good.
I saw Vixen with Bad Company
Oh, really?
at the Queenie Theater.
Nice.
Yeah, that was that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Starting to age yourself there, Trace.
Yeah, shit.
It's her birthday, by the way, folks.
And I'm having a beer.
And she's having a celebratory beer.
Cheers.
COVID beer.
COVID beer. I have a Corona in the fridge, but no, I'm not drinking.
So with the record company, I'm sure you've got a lot of material you've written. Are they going to plan on sometime down the road? Are you going to plan on having an album, an EP or something? Again,
yeah.
that's a hard thing to determine because don't know where we're going with all this, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, basically what we're going to do is because, we don't know where anything's going right now. It's just, we're going to release a single every month or two, a couple months here and there, release a single, and then in between release a video. Because I think with that kind of strategy, it's going to keep people more engaged than just releasing an EP or a full length album. It's like, oh, that's cool. It's out. You listen to it, and then what? You know what I mean? So it's like just I'm coming up with this strategy like to keep people engaged all the time, right? So always doing something to, oh, there's the reckoning. Oh, there's the reckoning. Oh, there's the, what are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? You know, you got to keep that momentum going. And that's what a
Right.
lot of bands are doing right now too. Like, yeah, there's some bands that are recording albums and stuff like that. And that's cool. But I mean, we're not that band. We don't have that budget that we can just go into a studio and drop, you know, $5,000
Right.
um, to record an album because, as you know, it can be quite expensive and time consuming. So, you know, it's a lot better to just release a song every few months and then throw in a music video here and there. And we are doing that. We have some new material coming out very soon after the holidays because we've been told that the holidays are not a good time for independent bands to release their music because you're in direct competition with the big bands. So
Correct.
we're going to release, you know, maybe mid-January, end of January. And yeah, we've got four, maybe five songs we're working on right now. So
Nice.
yeah, you can look forward to that in 2021.
Well, you'll have to send me the videos and I'll get them up on my website for you.
Thank you. I
Push
will.
push you a little bit more.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. I've always been a supporter of, well, not local talent anymore, but Canadian talent and
Yeah.
independent artists, and you know.
And it's much appreciated by all of us, man. Like without people like you, you know, it's really important to value your time as much as you value our time because we're all doing this to help each other. And
Yeah.
that's what it needs to be, you know, like we're all a community of artists and fans and whatever, and we're all here to help each other push through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've always been about pushing because I don't make any money doing this. I just do it because I like to support the arts.
Fucking make any money either.
What?
I don't make any money either, but that's not what it's about for us either, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if it comes, cool, but if it doesn't, that's not why we do it. You know, we're not like, oh man, we gotta record this song a certain way, and this now it's gotta get on the radio so we can do this and do that. Like, nah, we just we write what we want. You know, we gotta the music with the reckoning is kind of interesting because most of the time the songs just come out of jams sometimes, you know.
Great.
It just comes out of a jam that we're doing at rehearsal. And then Gord, our bass player, he always brings a Zoom camera to record our rehearsals. And so we always listen back and, a day or two later and go, hey, what the hell was that? What the hell? And then all of a sudden, like, oh shit, now we got another song. It's kind of cool.
Well, you did that with the song "Cut." You
Yeah,
had the rehearsal and you put that out.
exactly. And
Yeah.
like we put that out. That song was actually written like, I don't know, 4 months prior to when we put the video out because it was in a jam that we did, and we're like,
Nice.
oh wow, this is cool. Yeah, it's
That's
really neat
nice
that
when it
the
comes
music just
together.
kind of writes itself.
I hear that happens a lot.
Yeah. It's like the music just wants to be written. It's its own entity. It's kind of like we're the players of the music. The music is the big entity, and it's almost like you're a freaking puppet to the music master. No thing there on Metallica. So
Well, and I've heard also it depends on the people that you're with too, because if you don't
absolutely.
have that connection as people, it's hard to get the same vibe going, and
It
that's
is.
why a lot of bands break up, right? Is that vibe gets busted up.
Absolutely. I mean, we've had many different lineup changes, and now the one that we have is it has that magic.
Right.
It does. It works, and it's not like we're one of those bands that's hanging out with each other 24/7. We don't have a band house and we're doing all this shit. We have our own lives, but when we get together and we jam, there's magic.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
definitely noticed that with Bulletproof.
Thank you.
I really dig that one. I'll probably include it below this interview on the
Awesome.
website so people can check it out.
Nice.
We can push it a little and
For sure,
see
man.
what
I
people think.
appreciate that.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add at all?
Uh, I don't know. Like, I just, I'm very appreciative of people like you and everybody that gives us any kind of opportunity to find out more about who we are and what we
Right.
do and what we stand for. And I think that it's important that we all just band together in this crazy times in the world, and I know that once this stuff is at bay, that the music industry is going to come back in a very different way. And I think a lot of us are going to have a very different appreciation for what bands do because
Almost. Yeah.
yeah, for a lot of years now it's been very difficult for bands like us to even get a fucking pitcher of beer playing a show. And it costs us a lot of money to prepare to go play a show. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a different mindset when all the entertainment industry comes back into play. I think it's really cool. It's going to be even bigger and better than it was, I think.
Well, yeah, because the venues are going to realize what they've been missing because that's how
Yeah.
you're getting your crowd.
Well, yeah, and it's just like,
Because if they just want to hang out and drink, they can go to a bar. But they're gonna go to a venue like the Rickshaw.
yeah,
Go to a venue,
yeah, I
so
love
many
it.
of them are closing down now. You know,
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate because it's hard to keep a place open when you don't have what you're used to having in there, and that's the bands bringing in the people, right? So hopefully, hard lessons learned all around, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mo's been really clever though because he's been doing shows. I don't know if you've heard or not because you're in Montreal now. But he's been doing shows at the Rickshaw. Like he had Unleash the Archers last month.
Cool.
So what happens is you buy the ticket, half the proceed goes to the band, half the proceed goes to the venue.
That's very cool. Good
Yeah.
idea.
But then it's streamed live, right? And then people can
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of live streaming stuff going on, and I think that's really cool too. I mean, what else are you gonna do, right?
Right.
But I'm glad that Mo is keeping up with the Rickshaw stuff because that's an amazing venue. I've been to quite a few shows there, and wow, that's a really cool venue.
If there's one place that makes you feel like you're just hanging out at home, it's the Rickshaw. First
Absolutely.
time I went there, I felt so welcome there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no bullshit,
No,
It's
they're just
very
straight up
cool.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just there to have a good time, rock and roll.
that's right.
Yeah. But I'm here out in the East Coast now, and I've been here just over 3 years, and I had a lot of people say, "Oh, you're not gonna last out there. There's snow, there's this, there's that." It's like, you know what? Pre-COVID, my first winter here was the worst winter in 150 years, and I'm like, "Of course it is, because I'm here." Like, of course it is. But that didn't stop people from going out. And this
No,
is what amazed me about this city is like, we go downtown Montreal, it's minus 48 and it's 3 feet of snow, and people are standing outside waiting to get into venues to see local bands. And I'm just blown away by this. Like, what? And like every kind of music that you can imagine is here too,
yeah,
but everybody supports everybody. It's not like, oh, well, you're not metal, I'm not talking to you. Oh, you're not rap, I'm not talking to you. I'm not, you know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah,
It's there, everybody supports each other here. And that's very magical when it comes to that kind of stuff, because that's what it is. It shouldn't matter what your freaking genre is. Like, yeah, I prefer not to sit at home and listen to this or that. But if you're doing that, then good for you. Like, if that's what you love to do, then keep freaking going.
yeah,
Do what you love to do. But, Montreal is a very different city, and it actually reminds me of when Vancouver used to be hopping, when all the clubs were going, like back in the day, many, many, many years ago. And when it was like that, people were lined up outside to buy tickets to go see local bands, and it was hopping. And that's what it's like here. And even the economy here is incredible. It's incredible here.
Nice.
It's like it used to be back in the day out there. And I'm blown away. The people here, the scenery, the city, the lights, everything is lit up in neon and changing colors. Like, it's very beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. And
Yeah.
I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to come here, and then 3/4 of my band are here, like me, Gord, and my guitar player, Travis. He moved out here as well.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like I came out first, and then Gord came a year later, and then Travis came the year after that. And so we're all out here, and it just goes to show that, if you're that passionate about what you love, you will go to the ends of the earth to make it happen.
Exactly.
Because unfortunately, Vancouver really started to go down, unfortunately, and a lot of places closed pre-COVID.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of it happen, and it was a very sad thing, and it couldn't be stopped because of the way that the province runs that place now.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. But if you ever find yourself wanting to come out to Montreal, man, hit me up. You'll enjoy it.
But the other thing is your father's out there.
My father is here. He was in Vancouver when he developed dementia, and
Yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah, it's a hard journey, but I got him transferred out from Vancouver to here so I could be closer and I could keep an eye on things because he wasn't doing well out there in the care home that he was in. They weren't treating their patients well. And so now he's out here and he's doing a lot better. Even though it's dementia, you can try to be prepared for what's to come, but every day is a different story. And it's difficult. It really is. But what can you do? He's my dad, and I'm going to be there for him.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were able to get him out there and he's close to family.
Yeah. I mean, me and him are like the only blood family we have,
Right.
and that's it. So got to be there for him, right? That's what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm. Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been wonderful talking to you after all these years.
Yeah. It's been very cool. And I really appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Thanks for being my guest.
Oh, absolutely.
And keep rocking on. I'm gonna keep pushing your guys' stuff, and I'll get this up and then I'll send you the link for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anthony. Take
You're
care of
welcome.
yourself. Stay
You too,
safe out
Trasee.
there. All right.
Okay. All the
Cheers.
best.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.